Hello there. Welcome to another video. I am gonna show you everything you need to know to set up my 8-speed automatic transmission. Let's hop into it. Follow my steps. This is my example car. I will do everything on it. First, let's do all the building stuff. You are gonna need to hook up the engine with all 4 wheels. Add one electric motor, which is gonna act as starter. Then add one small generator. If you need more electricity, add a gearbox before it. Of course, add clutch. Now for the hardest part. The gearboxes. You are gonna need 6 of them. Only the first one needs to point its arrows to the engine. The remaining 5 need their arrows pointing to the wheels. Double check to make sure it is correct. Now connect it with the wheels. For the controls, you need one instrument panel, key button, and display. In the instrument panel, set up one up arrow button, one flip switch for controlling the start-stop system, and one down arrow button. You can pick any channels you want. It can be adjusted in the microcontroller afterward. The key button is obviously gonna be for turning the car on and off. Now let's set up the gearbox ratios. This is the part where it's really important that you've built them correctly. Here is a list of ratios for each gearbox. The first gearbox is a reverse one and is the only one that has its arrows pointing to the engine. Be careful not to make any mistake here. Now let's set up the seat. WS is gonna be throttle. Set its sensitivity to the maximum. Left right is for switching to manual shifting. Also set its sensitivity to the maximum. The last one, up down, is for shifting. Also set its sensitivity to the maximum. Set engines both max power and RPS limiter to the maximum. It is limited by the controller and you can adjust it there. Now let's add the microcontroller itself and hook everything up. Again, be careful to connect these outputs to the correct gearboxes. You can hook this to the brake light, RPS from the engine, linear speed sensor input, this switches the car on or off. This is parking brake. Transmission shift itself to P every time you turn the car off. Parking brake is engaged then. Brakes. Throttle to the engine. Output to the small electric engine. That is our starter. Clutch. You can add one brake light and one reverse light if you want to. Input from the driver's seat and the instrument panel. Output to the display. The controller is only showing the shifted gear, so you can use external video input to have something else on the screen. For example, some digital gauges from the workshop. Let's hook up the electricity and test the car. and use the key button to turn on the display and stuff. Ready to go. In default settings, you have to hold S for the car to start. This can be, for example, turned off. You can see it indicates the current gear lever position. You can shift using these buttons, or using up down. Shift pattern is available on the workshop page. Transmission works realistically. As soon as you shift into reverse or drive, and release brakes, the car starts moving slowly. That's why I recommend you always use brakes when changing the gear lever position. My controller is highly adjustable. I am gonna show you afterward. Here you can clearly see the behavior. I am only releasing S, and the car starts moving. The car is very light and it seems to have too much power. Let's change that. Click at the microcontroller with the select tool to see its properties. There is plenty of stuff which you can adjust. The power limiter is divided into specific gears. The higher the number is, the lower power will the engine have. Now it feels better. Demonstration of the start-stop system. The engine did shut off. Why? Because this system shuts off the engine every time you are shifted in D or R and you brake while not moving. It can be turned off with the flip switch or at the microcontroller's properties. Most of today's cars have this system. Now it is turned off. And you can see the engine is still running when I stopped. You can turn on manual shifting using left and right when your gear lever is at any position apart from the S. When engaged, you have to manually shift all the way to 8th gear. There is really plenty of stuff you can change. For example, you can permanently disable the start-stop system, and so you can delete the flip switch then. I am gonna turn off the press S to start function and move the gear indicator using these offsets. You can change the channels of all the 3 needed inputs from the instrument panel here. Now you can see, I didn't have to hold S for the car to start, and the gear indicator is in the middle of the screen now. Also, start-stop system is now permanently disabled. Transmission shifts itself into P every time you turn off the engine or exit the seat. The seat restriction can be turned off. And that is, I hope, everything you need to know to set it up. Feel free to ask any questions if you are having troubles with setting this up. I hope you like my creation and that it helped you build your own car in this game. Consider subscribing and giving me a like, it would make me happy. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.